Hats off to Coach Hearn and App State. They did a good job of finishing the game out and getting the victory. I thought we played well for about 30, 32 minutes. But we didn't finish it out. I thought we got stagnant again in the second half. Thought the shot selection wasn't very good, and that's what we've been watching on film every single day, as well as preparing and getting ready for Georgia State.
What, from you and your coaches as y'all talk, what could be some advantages of not playing Saturday moving into this weekend?
Yeah, I think it helps guys like Karis Bilal. He just had foot surgery and he's back. This is probably going on like his sixth game now, but his foot is still kind of sore. You just don't automatically, immediately become 100% just right off the bat. And so guys like that, it gives them rest. Dorian Finnester been playing, doing almost everything we need him to do, because of the depth. I think last game, he was battling down there with two of App State's bigs and playing a four, so it just gives guys much needed rest and, just gives them a recharge a little bit.
You talked a little bit about the shot selection there, especially like on that run that the Mountaineers went on. Like, how is it kind of balancing between letting guys go out and hoop, but then still trying to help set them up in the best actions to take better shot selection?
Yeah, just watching film with them and just learning from your mistakes. Those possessions, especially in the second half, are critical. You want to be able to get a good shot. You want to be able to get a good shot throughout the entire game. But in the second half, when you got the game going back and forth, I think it was 46-45 at one point. We had a 1 point lead, and so before Tot got really hot and just hit three after three after three and gave them some momentum. That 4 point play on the wing when Milan fouled him, just juiced them. And so, that next possession is so critical, to putting you in a position to win games. And so you got to make sure you're doing the same thing, that puts you in a position to get the lead, moving the ball, playing together, and make sure you're taking the right shots. And so that's something I've been stressing to our guys over these last couple of days. Again, at practice today, when we watch film, we'll go over it again, as well as, preparing for Georgia State.
Dan and I were just joking about get some sort of record for 3-point attempts in Thursday's game, because y'all shoot a lot of threes, and they shoot a lot of threes, Georgia State. Obviously, they've been making a lot of them lately. What's the key to trying to keep their percentage down from the 3-point?
Well, one, we need to get back in transition. This is a really good offensive team, and as you stated, this is a really good 3-point shooting team. And so we got to make sure we take away what they're really good at, And so that's what part of our game plan is, and making them, attack the basket more. We still want to keep the ball in front of us, and we don't want to give up a clear lane to drive and get to the basket or get fouled. But you have to make them uncomfortable. And sometimes by making the other team uncomfortable, you have to be okay with being uncomfortable. And so we have a game plan, and we just need to execute it for 40 minutes.
Not to look too far ahead, obviously Georgia State on Thursday, but then Georgia Southern has been playing quality basketball there, especially in league play. How does playing in games like that help guys to understand, like, those are the type of games that you have to win to ultimately become the program that you want to build this into being?
Yeah, Jamal, because I think every game is that way. A week ago, last week, we went on the road to South Alabama and won. South Alabama's a really good team. Texas State, every team in this league. I think Georgia Southern at one point was number one in the league, correct? And, Southern Miss was there at one point. And so it's a really good league, and it's every night. I think the main thing is you need to focus on the next game at hand. And next game at hand is Georgia State. I don't think you need to look past, Thursday. And so our focal point, our main focus is on Georgia State and how can we win that game.
On the defensive side right now, obviously you hope it's not like Troy where you got dominated on the board and give up a lot of second chance. Is that a big focus with Georgia State, or is their 3-point shooting a little different than one like Troy was?
Well, Troy has one of the best offensive rebounders in the country, and that kid Thomas Dowd. And they, as a whole, that's a really good offensive rebounding team. Georgia State is really good offensively. I'm not quite sure they're the offensive rebounding team that Troy is. And so that's the difference between those two teams. But both teams can, the similarities with both teams is they're really good shooting team, and so we have to do the job of taking away the three and, just get defensive stops consecutively, and just be consistent throughout the game. I thought at App State, at the very beginning of the game, I talked to our guys about winning the first 4 minutes. I thought we did that. I think we had a lead where it was like 11-4 or 9, something like that, in the first half. And, but you got to sustain that. And no matter the depth and the bodies that we don't have, you got to figure out a way to finish games out.
Do you feel like the team is getting closer to ultimately where you would like them to be?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. It'd be different if we were just getting blown out every single game. That's not the case. We lost to App State week before that. You beat South Alabama, on the road. And so all of these games, we're in the fight. We just, these kids are continuing to learn and, now getting used to playing without Joshua Lewis, had another setback. And those things matter. It's not an excuse, but it matters. That kid was starting for us, and he was getting ready to, I would like to say blossom, but, you have to adjust. Basketball is a game of adjustments, and we've been adjusting all year. And this team continues to fight. I have unbelievable confidence in this team, and we still have a chance.
Can you talk a little bit about last week, having that being the first week, y'all didn't have Lewis this season, and some of the players that might have been stepping up to fill that void? Yeah,
I'm super proud of Davion Laverne. You go on the road and have 7 assists and no turnovers. Just talking to Jay a second ago about this team, developing. All these guys are young. Laverne is a sophomore. Todd is a sophomore. Jeremiah Evans, who had some good minutes, is a sophomore. I remember coaching a kid named Dejon Giroux. He spent 3 years at Houston. First year, he was really, really good. Second year, a little bit inconsistent. Third year, he took us to the Final Four. Patience. You have to be patient. Our goals are still the same. There's nothing changed at all. And this program is going to continue to elevate. But, these guys need time. This is all first-year guys, and they're doing a heck of a job. Going through all the adversity that they faced, losing, their teammates. And as they would call it, their brother. Right. And so this team is extremely close, and there's not many teams that can go through what we've went through that would still be close knit like this and together.
Defensively, what kind of challenge? What did Georgia State try to do defensively that y'all have to try to handle?
Yeah, they are athletic. They play really hard. It's a well-coached team. Coach Hayes does a great job with them. And so, they're different in sense of how they guard ball screens. So last week, App State they're 5-man when we put him in ball screens. He was in a drop coverage, meaning he was away from the screen that was being set. Georgia State, they'll get up to the line of scrimmage, be foot to foot with the guy that's actually setting the screen, and they'll hard hedge, and it may look like a trap to others, and but it's really trying to get the ball handler to go up the floor or towards half court. And so that's a little bit different, and they play really hard, and they play together, and they connected.
You talked about Jeremiah Evans earlier. There's moments where he really flashes and you can see his physical dominance and he really imposes his will. What do you need to see more from him to where he can become that consistent physical presence for you on the inside?
It's just that. Be consistent. Be consistent. I talk about our guys about giving it all they got all the time. And I tell them, this as well. No one will never know how good you are until you give it all you got consistently. That block that Jackson O'Vera had in the first half. I mean, that's pure effort, and I'm on our guys about giving that effort all the time. But I also understand that it takes time. It takes time. This thing just doesn't happen overnight. And, I don't have to continue to talk about, our leader being gone and this and that. But that affects it all. But these, again, we have a chance, but for Jeremiah Evans, we just need him to be consistent with his play. His best basketball, like I said, before we got started, is ahead of him. He's only a sophomore. That kid is going to continue to get better, just like all the rest of them.
Looking into Thursday, Georgia State has the conference leader in points and steals. How do you kind of just slow him down a little bit, make him impact the game less?
Yeah, experience is the best teacher. I got a lot of respect for all the players in this league, and I think our guys take it as a challenge. The kid Harris, who's at South Alabama, is an elite basketball player. I think he may have had scored 60 points before they came in here and played us. And so I thought we did a good job here of holding them under his average. And so Hamilton is a really good player. He's super talented. That's a super talented team. And he can shoot the ball, and he can shoot it from deep. He can score it at all three levels. But I think our guys get up for that. And so we got to be ready to play, be smart, right? And talk to our guys about not fouling three-point shooters. So we got to be better in that area because these guys are going to shoot a ton of threes. So we just got to be disciplined, stick to the game plan, and, just go play with unbelievable effort.